Did you know your dominant hand was decided long before you were even born? This deeply ingrained trait isn't random. Its roots stretch back 500,000 years into our distant past. Imagine a bustling marketplace. People are everywhere. They are bartering goods, they are shaking hands. Notice something curious, most of them reach out with their right hand, they hold their crafts with their right hand, they sign documents with their right hand. This isn't just a modern observation. It's a pattern as old as humanity itself. For thousands upon thousands of years, most humans have favored their right side. This phenomenon, known as handedness, impacts nearly every aspect of our lives. It dictates how we write. It influences how we use tools. It shapes the very environment we inhabit. Consider the stark numbers. Roughly 90% of the global population is right-handed. Only about 10% are left-handed. A small fraction are ambidextrous. This ratio has remained remarkably consistent. It holds true across cultures. It holds true across continents. It holds true through millennia. This isn't a cultural invention. It isn't a recent trend. This fundamental asymmetry begs a profound question. Why? What drives this consistent preference? Is it purely a matter of upbringing? Do parents simply encourage their children to use their right hand? Is it a social convention, or is something much deeper at play? Is it woven into the very fabric of our biology? For a long time, handedness was a mystery. Scientists debated its origins. Some believed it was learned. They thought it was a result of imitation. Others suggested it was purely random, a flip of a coin at birth. But modern research tells a different story. A story of ancient predispositions. A story of biological blueprints. This journey to uncover the truth takes us far back in time. It leads us through dusty archaeological sites. It brings us into the silent chambers of ancient caves. It even delves into the microscopic world of our developing bodies. We will explore how our distant ancestors, living in a world wild and untamed, left clues about their dominant hands. These clues reveal a surprising continuity. A pattern established long before cities rose or writing emerged. A pattern that connects us directly to our primeval past. It's a tale that explains why you might instinctively reach for a pen with one hand over the other. It's the story of your dominant hand. Our bodies are remarkable historians. They record our lives. They carry the marks of our actions. Even our bones whisper secrets from the past. For archaeologists, these ancient bones are a treasure trove of information. They tell us about diet. They reveal diseases. And astonishingly, they can even indicate handedness. How can a dry, lifeless bone tell us about hand preference? It's all in the subtle details. Think about consistent use. When you repeatedly use one side of your body, those bones adapt. They become slightly denser. The muscle attachment sites grow stronger. These microscopic changes are preserved through time. When scientists examine ancient skeletons, they look for these asymmetries. They compare the left arm bones to the right arm bones. They analyze shoulder blades. They scrutinize elbow joints. Over hundreds of thousands of years, the evidence paints a clear picture. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence comes from dentalware. Imagine early humans, long before weaving or sophisticated tools. They often used their teeth as a third hand. They would hold animal hides or plant fibers between their teeth. Then, with a sharp stone tool, they would scrape or cut the material. If they consistently used their right hand to manipulate the tool, the scrape marks would appear on the left side of their upper teeth. These tiny striations preserved in ancient enamel are incredibly revealing. Studies on Neanderthal teeth, dating back over 50,000 years, show this exact pattern. A clear majority exhibit striations consistent with right-handed tool use. This wasn't just a few individuals. This was a consistent trend across entire groups. Similar findings emerge from early Homo sapiens remains. Even our more distant ancestors, like Homo erectus, might have shown these tendencies. The message is clear. Right-handedness wasn't a modern development. It was present in our hominid ancestors. It was already a dominant trait hundreds of thousands of years ago. These silent bone fragments speak volumes. They tell us that our preference for one hand is deeply anciently rooted. Move from dusty bones to the shadowed depths of ancient caves. Here, our ancestors left breathtaking artistic legacies. Intricate paintings of animals cover the walls, mysterious symbols adorn the surfaces, and amongst these, we find a unique form of self-portraiture, hand stencils. These ghostly outlines were created by placing a hand flat against the rock. Then, pigment, often red ochre or charcoal, was blown from the mouth over and around the hand. When the hand was removed, its perfect silhouette remained, a snapshot of a person from tens of thousands of years ago. These hand stencils are found in prehistoric caves across the world. Places like Grotte de Gargas in France, or Chauvet Cave with its stunning animal depictions, or Cosquer Cave, hidden underwater near Marseille. When archaeologists carefully catalog these stencils, a striking pattern emerges. The overwhelming majority are outlines of left hands. What does this mean? It's simple yet profound. If an artist wanted to create a stencil of their left hand, they would need their right hand to hold the blowing tube, or to cup the pigment and spray it with their mouth. Conversely, if they were left-handed, they would likely stencil their right hand. The preponderance of left-hand stencils strongly suggests that the artists were primarily right-handed. They used their dominant right hand to perform the fine motor skill of blowing pigment. This artistic evidence dates back 20, 30, even 40,000 years. It spans the Upper Paleolithic period. It provides a visual confirmation of the right-hand dominance already seen in the skeletal record. These prehistoric artists, with their rudimentary tools and deep connection to nature, were unknowingly documenting a fundamental human trait. Their ancient artworks serve as a powerful testament. They show that right-handedness was not just present, it was prevalent. It was the norm. It shaped their creative expression. It was part of their identity. Beyond bones and art, our ancestors left another crucial record. Their tools. Early humans were master craftsmen. They transformed raw materials into functional objects. They created choppers, scrapers, spear points, and blades. The way these tools were made and the way they were used also reveals clues about handedness. Consider flint knapping. This ancient art involves striking a coarse stone with another stone to flake off sharp pieces. It's a highly skilled process. It requires precision. It demands control. Archaeologists can study the angles of the flake removals. They can analyze the direction of the impact scars. These subtle indicators can tell us if the crafter was right-handed or left-handed. Consistent patterns in ancient stone tool assemblages show a clear preference for right-handed manufacturing techniques. The majority of artifacts exhibit features indicating a right-handed artisan. Even the wear patterns on finished tools offer insights. A scraper used to process animal hides would show wear on one side more than the other. The direction of the striations on the tool's edge or on the material being worked points to the dominant hand. Spear points found in archaeological digs might have specific asymmetries. These asymmetries could suggest how they were hafted and thrown. Spear throwers themselves, designed to propel projectiles with greater force, often show a design optimized for a right-handed user. This consistent evidence from artifacts is truly remarkable. It spans vast stretches of time. It covers diverse geographic regions, from early Oldowan tools, simple choppers dating back millions of years, to the refined blades of the Upper Paleolithic. The footprint of right-handedness is undeniable. It suggests that this preference influenced not just how individuals performed tasks. It influenced the very development of technology itself. The tools themselves became a reflection of our collective handedness. They are silent witnesses to a shared human history. A history where one hand, more often than not, led the way. For years, people often wondered if handedness was simply genetic. Is there a lefty gene that gets passed down? The reality is far more complex than a single gene. While genetics certainly play a role, it's not a straightforward inheritance pattern. Handedness is considered a polygenic trait. This means multiple genes, working in concert, contribute to its development. There's no single switch. Instead, a complex interplay of many genetic factors influences brain development and asymmetry. Scientists have identified several genes that might be involved. These genes often relate to the development of the brain's hemispheres. They can influence how the left and right sides of the brain specialize. But even with these genetic predispositions, the outcome isn't always absolute. Environmental factors during prenatal development, sometimes called epigenetics, can also play a part. These subtle influences during gestation can modify how genes are expressed. They add another layer of complexity to the puzzle. So, while your parents' handedness might give a clue, it's never a guarantee. It's a fascinating dance between nature and nurture. A dance that begins long before birth. Our brains are not symmetrical. They are divided into two distinct hemispheres. The left hemisphere generally controls the right side of our body. The right hemisphere typically controls the left side. This cross-wiring is fundamental. It's how our nervous system operates. But it's more than just motor control. Each hemisphere also specializes in different cognitive functions. For the vast majority of people, whether right-handed or left-handed, the left hemisphere is dominant for language. It houses critical areas like Broca's area, responsible for speech production. It contains Wernicke's area, vital for language comprehension. This strong lateralization for language is a defining human characteristic. Scientists theorize a connection between the specialization of the left hemisphere for language and its control over fine motor skills. These are the skills essential for tasks like writing or tool manipulation. The brain's architecture itself seems to favor one side. This inherent asymmetry starts forming very early. It sets the stage for our eventual hand preference. The most astonishing discovery and understanding handedness takes us into the womb. Long before any social influence or conscious choice, your dominant hand is already being determined. Groundbreaking ultrasound studies have revealed this incredible truth. As early as 8 to 15 weeks into gestation, unborn babies exhibit clear hand preferences. How do we know? Researchers observe them. They watch babies consistently sucking their right thumb or their left thumb. This seemingly simple action is incredibly predictive. Babies who predominantly suck their right thumb are highly likely to be right-handed later in life. Those who prefer their left thumb often become left-handers. This thumb-sucking behavior is not learned. It's an innate, spontaneous action. It's a direct reflection of developing neural pathways. The decision about handedness doesn't even originate in the brain's motor cortex itself. Recent research suggests an even earlier origin. It points to the spinal cord. Electrical activity in the spinal cord, specifically its asymmetry, appears to be established before the motor cortex is fully connected. These early asymmetric signals then influence the development of the motor cortex. They prime it to favor one side. So, in a truly profound sense, your dominant hand is largely chosen for you. It's an unfolding biological blueprint, a pre-programmed preference established months before you ever draw your first breath. It truly is a case of being born this way. Given its deep evolutionary roots, why did right-handedness become so prevalent? Why didn't a 50-50 split emerge? Scientists have proposed several compelling hypotheses. One popular theory links handedness to language development. Since the left hemisphere typically controls both language and the right side of the body, perhaps these functions co-evolved. A strong shared specialization in the left hemisphere for complex tasks could have provided an evolutionary advantage. This would consolidate crucial cognitive and motor skills in one brain region. Another hypothesis suggests a social advantage. In early human groups, coordinated actions were vital for survival. Think about hunting parties, or building shelters, or defending against predators. A shared dominant hand for tool use or weapon wielding could have made group efforts more efficient. Imagine a group of people all swinging their clubs or spears with the same hand. This could lead to better synchronization. It might improve collective defense or hunting success. A third possibility is simply random genetic drift. Perhaps, at some point in our evolutionary history, a slight bias towards right-handedness emerged. This bias then became fixed due to chance. It continued to propagate through generations. Once established, cultural and environmental factors would then reinforce it. For example, right-handed individuals would create tools and environments suited for right-handers. This would make it harder for left-handers to adapt. While the definitive answer remains elusive, these hypotheses highlight the complex interplay between biology, cognition, and social evolution. The mystery continues to captivate researchers. For the 10% who are left-handed, living in a right-handed world often means constant adaptation. Think about everyday objects. Scissors are typically designed for right-handers. Spiral notebooks are often uncomfortable. Computer mice are usually configured for the right hand. Even car controls and door handles are generally optimized for right-hand use. Left-handers learn to navigate these subtle challenges with remarkable dexterity. Historically, left-handedness has faced prejudice. The word sinister itself comes from the Latin word for left. Gauche in French means left, but also awkward or clumsy. In many cultures, children were forced to switch hands. This reflects a deep-seated societal bias against anything perceived as deviant from the norm. Fortunately, these attitudes are largely disappearing in modern times. Today, left-handedness is often viewed with curiosity, sometimes even admiration. Many famous artists, musicians, and athletes are left-handed. Some researchers suggest a slight advantage in certain sports, like boxing or baseball. Their opponents are simply less accustomed to their movements. There's even anecdotal evidence linking left-handedness to creativity or divergent thinking, though scientific proof remains elusive. Ultimately, handedness is a testament to human diversity. It's a spectrum. It's a natural variation within our species. It reminds us that our traits, even seemingly simple ones, hold profound historical and biological stories. We have journeyed through time. We explored ancient bones. We deciphered cryptic cave art. We dissected the blueprint of our own biology. What have we learned? Handedness, particularly the dominance of the right hand, is not a modern convention. It is not a recent development. It is an ancient, deeply wired trait. It has been a consistent feature of humanity for at least 500,000 years. This preference was established long before recorded history. It was set in motion even before birth. Your dominant hand is a testament to your evolutionary heritage. It reflects the intricate dance of genes and development. It highlights the profound asymmetry of the human brain. It connects you directly to the earliest toolmakers. It links you to the artists who painted their stories on cave walls. This seemingly simple aspect of your identity is a powerful window into our past. It shows us how deeply our biology is intertwined with our history. It reminds us that even the smallest details of our existence carry echoes of ancient patterns. The mystery of handedness continues to unfold. It reveals layers of biological complexity and historical continuity. So the next time you pick up a pen or reach for a coffee cup, consider the incredible journey. Consider the millions of years of evolution that led to that simple, fundamental action. What do you think is the most surprising fact about handedness that we uncovered today? Share your thoughts in the comments below.